What's up, guys? Trilogy here with Trilogy Effect. Today we're going to be going on the new Korean space drama, The Silent Sea, on Netflix. This show has a lot of talent. Train to Busan actors, it has some Kingdom actors. There's some Squid Game actors in there that I recognize on there. But basically, this movie takes place in the near future. The world's basically out of water. Because we're out of water, we have to minimize the intake of creatures that use water. So pets are forbidden, so there's no pets. They get euthanized and stuff like that because they do use up water. The world gets dried up, and then the resources are hoarded by the rich, and that just seems to be a common depressing theme nowadays, that the rich are hoarding resources. And it's just, can I enjoy a movie for once instead of being reminded of the harsh realities? But yeah, that's it. So basically a team of members are sent to the moon, to a lunar base, to retrieve a mysterious package. The package is, we don't get no details on it, and that is pointed out. They're like, well, you want us to transport this, but we're not able to get any details, and it's supposed to be kept extremely cold, and it's supposed to not come into contact with anyone and stuff like that. They arrive at the lunar base and they find several, like hella bodies, dead bodies. We don't know why they died. And Captain Han, the main man, he's not really worried about that. He's an eyes on the prize type guy, and he wants to focus on the mission. But bit by bit, they all start dropping like flies. Yeah, not mosquitoes. I was about to say mosquitoes. They start dropping by flies for various different reasons. Some of them come into contact with a disease and they die. And the way they die is like, they throw up water, and they're just like, why is this guy throwing up water? And eventually they die. And it comes to find out there's a substance on this base called Lunar Water. Lunar Water is supposed to be, it's a self-replicating water. And obviously, based off of the setting of this movie, you can see why this would be advantageous. We have a water shortage on Earth. We discover self-replicating water. But the thing is, the water to replicate requires external stimulus, and the stimulus is something biological, a living creature. So the water replicates when exposed to living biomass. So whenever it touches a human, basically it infects them, and then the water starts to replicate. And because of that, they were experimenting out on this lunar base on children, trying to make them evolve into creatures that they can intake the water basically without dying, which I feel like would have been easier to do it the other way around. See if they could adapt the lunar water to humans, because there's a bunch of humans back on Earth. Whereas if you do get this to work with a kid, that it works for that one kid, congratulations. But I just feel like it would have been easy. Maybe they did try that. I don't remember them saying that, but yeah. So they do experiments on these kids. They all die except for one kid named Luna, who hoards the water. Basically, she doesn't want it exposed to anyone else. She doesn't want it to kill anyone else. So anytime any of the crew members take the water, she either attacks them or she kills them. And basically, eventually, her and Dr. Song kind of create a bond. And it turns out Dr. Song was sent on this mission knowing that they might find out the actual ulterior motive. But her sister was one of the head scientists on the experiments. And because of that, it's suspected that the director expected her to be logical, like, hey, we're going to keep this a secret because I don't want my sister's reputation messed up and dishonor on my family name and stuff like that. I don't know if it's actually that type of setting. I just think of Mulan whenever I think of Asian stuff, which probably is a prejudice of mine. I apologize. But as far as that goes, that's probably pretty much it. I mean, they get there, people start dying, and there's some spies on the team sent by X Corporation. Basically, their mission is to steal the water from underneath the science team's mission. They're going to steal the water, and then they're going to bid it off to the highest bidder, basically. They're going to sell it back on Earth, which I don't know what those guys are going to do. You think you're smarter than NASA and all these Asian scientists and the world, you know what I'm saying? Like, say you have the lunar water, are you going to just bid it back to the government? Like, I don't understand the plan as far as that goes. But one of them dies pretty early on, and the other one takes the mission, and he kind of becomes the main antagonist for the rest of the show as far as that goes. Eventually, he does die, and it turns out he was one of the main oppressors back when they shut the base down. When they shut the base down, basically they killed everyone in there, and they let them die. And eventually the lunar water gets exposed and it starts expanding and basically the whole ship gets filled up with water. Captain Han, Dr. Song, and basically Luna are the last remaining ones, but someone has to stay behind basically to lock the airlock. Captain Han volunteers to say it, and he's bonded quite throughout the show with Luna, the young girl, who reminds him of his daughter who passed away when she was younger, and he accepts basically like, yeah, I don't want her to be experimented on, but if we leave her here, she's going to die. If we take her back to Earth, she's going to get experimented on. Dr. Song comes up with the idea to take her to the International Space Station or whatever, and basically she'll be protected there, which I guess that's a plan. But he stays behind to lock the airlock, and the water crescendos into him, and basically it appears that he dies. A few minutes later, everyone escapes, and there's an amazing visual where the water basically bursts out, and it freezes due to it being exposed to space, of course. And it's a cool visual. Captain Han actually does make it out, but he does die after Luna gives him his little pen that he received from his daughter. And this is pretty symbolic of like a full circle type thing. The rescue ship finally arrives, but Captain Han does die. And that's pretty much on the note that the movie ends on. Like, we don't have any solution to the water thing. None of our problems were really solved as far as that goes, and people died. So we lost like 10 people, and we got one space girl who is standing outside in space unexposed. Like, if you'll notice throughout the whole episode, the whole season, which does start off very slow, like you'll have to watch like 4 of the 8 episodes to really get into this, and because they're dropping breadcrumbs of what the mystery is. But once the action starts, it actually does stay consistently action-packed for the remainder of the season. But back to Luna, she's standing in space with no helmet due to the experimentation, and she's pristine. Like, there's not a drop of dirt or blood on her, and I guess it's like her breaking out of the bad environment that she's in, and she's in a better place as far as that goes. Yeah. Oh, also, she bit Dr. Song earlier in the season, and that bite basically mutated her, and the lunar water was supposed to kill her, but it didn't. So we don't know if she's going to get any other mutations. Like, is she going to be able to stay out in space with no protection? But we don't know. But that's the Silent Sea explained. I didn't introduce myself earlier, but if you're still here, I'm Trilogy with Trilogy Effect. We do moving endings, anime, gaming, tech, Dungeons and Dragons. I have curated playlists on my channel. I definitely recommend you check this out. This show probably was more of a miss for me as far as hit or miss goes. I'd probably give it maybe a 6.5 out of 10. If there was a second season, I might check the first episode out, but it wouldn't be on the top of my watch list. Yeah, it's not the next Squid Games as far as that goes. And I even preferred Kingdom more than this. But yeah, that's it. Trilogy with Trilogy Effect. I'll catch you guys later. If this informed you, if you learned anything, go ahead, like, comment down below. Subscribe. I really appreciate it. We're a growing channel. I also have a Patreon down below if you want to subscribe. Help out the channel, donate. I don't do any ads or anything like that besides what YouTube does. That's out of my control. But I would really appreciate the support. I'll catch you guys next time. Trilogy out. Peace.